Go. Welcome, Chris Evans Radio. We are back with Little Dave. It's Monday, and we are excited to be on here because we did a Q&A on his Instagram, and we have a lot of good questions and some good variety. So kind of all spectrums is, I think sometimes him and I get going down a rabbit hole of training because that's what we love the most of all this. And so this will bring some variety to you guys and give some different viewpoints on some topics we've never touched on. But to start, I just want to give a shout out to my 3 clients that competed this past weekend. John Davis, he won both master's classes at the Tennessee State, and he is one of North Americans. Looked like a giant, absolute freak. Yeah, if you're 270 pounds with peeled glutes at 6 foot, that's a good look. Like I forgot. I was going to send it to you in the 50 class, man. It was like two older guys and then him, and it was like one isn't like the other. And one of my guys who was also there sent it to me and was like, he's literally scaring the other grandpas on stage.
Yeah.
Pretty funny. So again, he hadn't competed in literal years. So this one was just kind of like knock some dust off, get back in the swing of things. He wanted to see if he can get in shape, which he was. So, it's one of those things where I'm really pumped for him. And, like everyone who's had time away from the stage, even if it's been a year plus, like I'm sure you feel this way too, Dave. It's like you have this period of a prep where you're like, man, is it going to happen? Like, am I going to get in shape again? Because that beginning phase, like you lose all that fullness from the all season, but you're not peeled yet. So it's this weird, like you feel almost skinny fat, and it's like, fuck.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
go ahead.
that's where most people run into circles. They get that skinny fat face. They're like, fuck, I'm going back into the off season, or they're like, fuck it, I'm going to push calories down further.
Yep.
And neither one of those are good ideas.
Not one bit.
If shit's working, you don't need to push it harder.
Yep.
I
think a lot of times people like lose sight of that. They think, oh, I gotta get all this fat off today. And that's never the case. Like if you're trending down in body fat in all of your poses and specifically your fattest areas, just ride that course. Like it's gonna happen. And I know for me, it's always around that like 6 to 8 to maybe 10 week out mark. And I'm like, oh, okay, here we go. Like we're on it now. And if you could just be patient and slowly take your calories down and not throw all the supplements at it and all the cardio at it and just take a deep breath and know that if you follow the plan, you'll be in shape. Like, if you work with me or another coach or Dave, like, well, we know what you need to be like. It's like if you're here and show day's here, we know what this look needs to be, and we manage this. You manage the work, and you do that, and good shit happens. Because again, as long as you and I have been doing this, we still have moments where we're like, let's say you've eaten 6 meals and had 8 liters of water at night, and you look in the mirror, go and take a piss before bed, and you're like, fuck, I'm not close, man. Well, maybe not you. That's your morning look. For me, it's at night.
yeah. Definitely. My morning look is always what gets me.
Right. Yeah. You wake up, you're like, fuck, do I even lift weights? And then next thing you know, 8, 6, 5, 4 weeks out, you're like, oh yeah, I'm going to be there. So
yeah,
I'm glad, I could get John back on stage and get that confidence back. So going to North Americans in the 50 plus supers and the 40 plus supers, I think he's going to show really, really well. So I'm happy for him and that. And then I had one of the other girls that I worked with for Bikini. She won the overall to Cutler in both Masters and Open. So she's had some time away from the stage too.
I saw those pictures. She looked nuts. Absolutely crazy.
Yep. And it's one of those things like she trains at Elite, and there was just one day she came up to me and she's like, hey, do you work with bikini competitors? And I was like, yeah, I do. And so we just got started. And it's one of those things like I'd always seen her in the gym working hard and training with purpose. So, with those people, like they just fit in with us. And just got on a meal plan, figured her digestion out because she had a decent amount of digestive issues when she came to me. And she had just had a surgery. So she hadn't been training for, I think it was like 5 to 6 weeks. And it was just like that small and soft look. She was never overweight. It was just small and soft. She looked like probably most normal women would love to look. But for her, it's like, this is off. So, we just got in the gym. We went through a full lean out phase we did a rebound into an off season. And then when her off season was ending and she was like, I think we should lean out again. I was like, what are your thoughts on doing a show? Like, let's just crank, because she was in a good starting spot. And we got 5, 6 weeks into a diet and she'd already picked that color out. And I was like, I think you have a good shot of winning this or doing well. Like, let's just ride it into North Americans. I'm going to be there. Let's do it. And she locked in. And from that point forward, man, it was just one thing after the other. So that was a
That's
lot.
always fun to witness.
Yes. Yep. And just each week she got better. Each week she showed up willing to work. And, she's one of those people like you where you give her a task and an assignment. I know it's going to be done and it's done to the best of her ability. And then we just modify the plan according to how her body responds. So again, I know not everyone is to that stage in their competitive career mentally, but I can tell you when you do, crazy shit happens. And after this whole contest season's over, I'll post like what it looked like when she started with me, and then now, so it'll be just under 2 years,
Yes.
and it's night and day. It's fucking wild.
Yeah.
So, and what's funny is I had her in better condition to the point where I thought she was going to be too hard for a regional level show, and I softened her up leading into it. She sent me a video of post lift one day in full on glute striations, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna rein you back a little bit.
Yeah.
So
You're like, here's some food.
yeah, right. Yeah. And she's fortunate too. Like, I never have to starve her, like do
Yeah.
extreme shit. But I'm not, to say that her food's not low would be a lie. So
Yeah.
it was one of those things where, we're gonna push her conditioning a little bit back in that direction for North Americans. But not to the point where she has like fully separated quads and glute striations and all that stuff. So something about like with bikinis, like keep the stomach flat and tight, round cap shoulders, full glutes, and you're in a good spot. So yeah. And it was cool because there was a pretty competitive like C class, and she's A, she's like 5 foot. So I was like, oh shit, when she sent me the side by side, I'm like, it depends on what they want. And I believe she won that solely based on shoulders and glutes. So
Yeah.
the
Dude, her
bikini model.
glutes were in the pictures I saw of their overall win, like different level.
Yes. Yep. Yep. And I'll tell you what, man, like just to touch on that for a minute, when that was a area where she viewed as a problem area when she came to me, and we trained those fuckers for 3 times a week for 2 years to get that. And she does a really great job of sending me training videos and being open and honest, where if I programmed her something and she's like, I don't feel that, but I feel this better. And we just leaned into that. So, it's one of those things I really challenge you guys, if you work with a coach or me or Dave, like if we program, say, dumbbell RDLs and you feel a barbell or a Smith machine better, just tell us. Like,
Yeah.
we want you to do exercise that you feel and connect to. And if you do that, good things happen.
Mm-hmm.
And then my last guy, Jeff, he did a California, I think it was the Pacific USA. And he got first in open middles and he won the novice. So another great.
That's a solid one.
Yeah. It's one of those things. I was joking with Angela, like, it's a weekend, you have a weekend like that as a coach, and you think it's really easy to think, oh man, like I've finally cracked the code and I know what I'm doing. And then you find out real quick, you'll get humbled because of the next weekend, it's like things didn't go the way you wanted. So it's one of those things, like I always encourage coaches out there. Like I've had periods where I'm like, man, do I belong in this coaching world? And I've had other times where I'm like, I can do no wrong. Like everything works.
Yeah.
And then I've also had times in the middle of both of those extremes. So
Yeah.
it's always goes back to me, that Tom Hanks quote where this too shall pass. Like that is ingrained in my brain, where it's like, if life is going incredibly well, know that hard times are coming. And if hard times are now, eventually know if you continue to do the right shit and you're a good person and you work hard, eventually it's going to start going back up again. So
yeah,
it's the whole plight of a competitor, right? Like,
yeah,
you're in the all season, food's high, and you're like, God, my life fucking sucks. Like, I just can't wait to diet. And it's like, oh, okay, cool. Now we start our prep and things get easier until you're starving around the clock. And then it's like, fuck, am I ever going to get food again? And then you have that period of like, oh, I'm rebounding and my food's in a good spot and I feel great. And then, oh, it's back to sucking again because you're stuffed.
yeah.
This too shall pass. If you remember that, you'll have rebounds like Dave.
Yep.
So easy as that. So anything exciting happened to you this week? I know your hamstring's getting better.
Hamstring's getting better. Just got back from a boat trip. Um, Always fun time traveling. I mean, it's always funny too because it's so easy. Like just having your food on you. It's like I get that all the time. It's like, well, how do you do things as a bodybuilder? It's like you just bring a bag of chicken with you. Like got like 6 action items throughout the day. It would take 15 minutes tops a piece.
Right.
You
Yes.
know, so that's really, and I can do other things other than eat at the same time too.
Yes.
Like it's not like I have to go lock myself in a room and eat.
I think something that you and I do exceptionally well that a lot of people can learn from is we simplify travel meals. So, like, if I'm speaking for me, I will make 3 meals chicken, rice, and olive oil, and I'll make the next three turkey, avocado oil, and potatoes. And it's just
Mhm.
3 and 3, and I alternate 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And I just make the macros match.
Exactly.
And those are simple, it's easy. You don't think about it. You chop up the meat into
Yeah.
small pieces and you fucking shovel it in with a spoon. You can eat it cold or hot.
Yeah.
Like, is that what you and I would probably deem as ideal and do when we're home? No, we want variety. But for
Yeah.
2 or 3 days, you and I would much rather have our diet food than wing it and get
Yeah.
the pills in,
Yeah.
So
Well, it's so, I mean, if you're traveling, you're going to stop at a gas station. Almost every gas station has a microwave,
yeah,
you know, like that's like probably my favorite thing. I'll legitimately go over, buy like an 89-cent fountain drink, fill it up with diet, like, you know, Dr. Pepper, just like a normal fucking size drink, not one of the big ones, but one
yes,
of the cheap ones, and then steal the microwave, you
yep,
know.
yep,
And then if they have random, like all the time, like the Mavericks here, it's like kind of like probably one of the bigger gas station chains, but they have like like the hamburger hot dog station. They
yes,
always have they have pickles and like sauce there.
yeah,
Like if you're in the off season, like some of like throw some ketchup or whatever on it.
yeah, oh, yeah,
If you're in contest prep, the pickles are definitely just pickles.
and get mustard.
Yeah, exactly. And there's and it's like cool. And you bought something, that's why it's there for you.
Yes,
You're not just going in there and stealing it.
right.
But
Get a water, get a diet soda, get a coffee, man, you're good to go.
yeah,
And if you're in the all season, I've always thought about this too. Like, if you want to make it even simpler, save your free meal for there. So that's one less meal you have to take.
yeah,
And that way, whatever you're doing with whoever you're doing it with, like, oh, cool, where y'all going for dinner? If it sounds good, I'm gonna eat there. And that's
yeah,
my free
yeah.
meal.
That's
And if you
exactly what I did.
know, it's it's not that hard if you don't think it is.
Yeah.
Like I heard this really cool analogy once where I think it was, I know people hate Andrew Tate, but it was really fucking good. Where he's like, you have two people and you put them in a haunted house. One believes in ghosts and the other one doesn't. Something goes crash in the night. The person who believes in ghosts thinks it's a ghost and they're terrified. The person who doesn't thinks it's the wind and goes back to sleep. What's the lesson there? Same environment, same
Yeah,
noise. It's here. It's the brain, right? So
100%.
it's either miserable and you're miserable and everyone around you feels it, or you say, hey, guess what? Like, I'm gonna eat my meals and y'all are gonna eat what you're gonna eat and let's have fun.
Yeah.
So,
And no one even really notices either.
no. And I think you said you were with nothing but trainers and bodybuilders. So for fuck's sake,
Yeah,
like they understand, they get it.
yeah, yeah,
Even if they aren't
exactly.
following it, they at least like, oh yeah, time to eat, got it. I've been there.
Yeah, no, 100%.
So, all right, let's get into these questions. So these are all off of Dave's. And we'll just start here with how can mental health affect weight loss?
Well, I mean, we kind of just touched on that.
Yes.
Like, you know, the if you're constantly in the negative, especially like when you first start a diet, where we just talked about where you get that skinny fat where you lose your fullness, but you still have a good amount of body fat.
Yep.
It's like you think that's your life now, and you're like, wow, I look like shit. So you either, like I said earlier, you either go back to off season so you get your fullness back, or you push even harder and you lose muscle.
Yes. Yep.
And both of those ones, like you're not going to make progress.
Nope.
It's not sustainable. It's that slow walk through hell, which leads to the outcomes you want.
Yeah.
Because you can't do any of this fast. Bodybuilding is not like, slow and difficult is the name of the game.
Yes. Okay.
And trying to do things fast is like you can do some things fast, but you can't do them fast for long.
Yep.
you know, like they
And
say, slow is smooth, smooth is fast.
damn right. And you know, to me, mental health ties in with stress a lot. And what you just described, like if I'm just going even kill, I'm not making drastic diet changes to where I'm cutting, say, half my carbs. That goes so far because of, let's use you as an example. Like I'll take your rice from 250 to 225. You'd barely feel that. Like you
Yeah,
don't even notice it. You still have a
yeah,
good portion of rice. You may not be able to put as much on your fork or spoon with each bite of chicken, but for the most part, like you're still getting rice and chicken with every bite. Where if I took your rice from 250 to 100, that's a noticeable decrease. And it's like I get a half a fork of rice and then 3 bites of chicken. Like,
yeah,
so it's much more sustainable because a lot of times you won't even notice that you even had a reduction in anything. And it's like, okay, cool. Like fat's trending down, food's slowly coming down. I'm not taking my cardio from 20 minutes 3 times a week to 6 times 60 minutes. Like that'll suck. Like you'll notice that. But for you,
mhm,
I'm like, we're at 20 minutes 4 times. Let's take it to 25 minutes and see what happens. Like slow and steady. And then that way, it didn't like you report like Chris, my legs are dead because I'm doing so much cardio and I can't squat or leg press as much as I would. Well, no shit.
yeah,
Like, and then your muscles get
exactly.
smaller, and it negatively feeds the body, which then in turn plays with your mind and makes you stress and think, oh God, I'm not ready. Or on the other side, you'll have guys say, fuck, I need to pump more drugs. Okay. Well, you could do that.
Yeah,
But what happens when your body starts to go toxic? Awesome. Then everything starts to shut down. Like
yeah,
you can only beat that nail into the board so deep before you have no more room to hit. Like, and again, that's why I prefer my dieting style. But to get back on mental health, I also think there's things that outside of your life drastically impact that, right? And I've seen this for
yes,
years with training people. If your spouse or family is always like, why are you doing this? This is stupid. I love you the way that you are. I hate this sport, or that you're losing fat. That's miserable to deal with. And you either
yeah,
have to be brutally honest with them and say, hey, I will feel more comfortable in my skin if I drop 25 pounds and I will be happier for myself. And if they don't understand that, then you need to separate yourself from them. Right.
yeah. People you keep, I mean, they always say that, like, what you're the common, your personality is based off of 5 people you're always around,
Yep.
you know.
Yep.
And if all 5 of those people are negative as fuck,
Yes.
like, good luck being positive,
Cool. Yes. Yep.
you know.
I had a
And
lady. Go ahead. Sorry.
like that makes a huge, outcome change because if you're negative with everything, like you're like, oh great, coach cut my carbs again. Oh great, my cardio's going down, like going up. It's like how lucky you are to be able to participate in the sport,
Yep.
you know?
Yep.
Like, cool, that might not be the most fun thing, but the reason you're doing it isn't to do, like, yeah, we're doing this for outcomes,
Yes.
not for the pleasure of like, I fucking don't like walking on a treadmill in the morning,
Right.
but it happens because I like what it does to my body.
Yep.
People like, all the time, they're like, oh, leg day sucks. And it's like, like the anything that's going to be like hard and miserable there is going to have such a positive benefit.
Right.
But it's
Yep.
like, I'm excited to do it because of the positive benefit, not because of what it is,
Right.
but
Yep.
because of what I get out of it.
Mhm. I never understood the leg day thing because, guys love lifting heavy weights. And I always thought, man, in no world would I ever be able to put 10 plates on a bar and do anything with it. But I can leg press that. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like you and I can hack squat 7 plates on a flex hack squat. I can't do that on a hammer strength chest press.
No,
Like,
exactly. I'm definitely not curling that.
right, right. Like I, the leg curling, the stack plus weight, like that's all fun to me. Go in the adductor, pin more weight on it. Like I've always liked it because when I left a leg day, it was the closest to what I felt like when I finished football practice, which was mildly beat up, exhausted, but rewarding. Like,
Yeah.
and I know maybe not everyone loves that feeling, but I personally do. I know you do. That's why we do this shit. Um, but it's really interesting. What you made a great point is the amount of people that I've updated their meal plan and pulled food and raised cardio, and they're like, fuck. And I realize that's a maturing process because you and I get that and we're like, fuck yeah. Like I'm gonna be changed if it was today on a Monday, I know by Friday I'm gonna look noticeably different.
Yeah, something's
And
gonna
by
change.
yep, because then the next Friday I'm gonna look even more different. And it's like, hey, when my food comes down or when my cardio goes up, like that's exciting for me because I know that I'm about to reach the next level of body fat loss. And
Mm,
those people like they get excited about, oh, coach increased my drugs, he added a fat burner. Like that's
yeah,
easy. Awesome. I swallow a pill every morning. Awesome. Like who gives a fuck? Like that to me is useless. Where if you flip your mindset as opposed to, oh my God, my carbs went from 200 to 160 to, man, my carbs are 160. I'm going to make some serious progress. That
yeah,
will change your mental health and outlook on life so much better because
yeah,
you and I both know that if your carbs get low enough and you train crazy hard, eventually a high day is coming.
yeah,
Or the show is coming, I'll be peeled and get food after the show. Like
yeah,
one of those two outcomes are happening.
yeah,
Like, it's inevitable.
yeah. Or I mean, like probably the one a huge motivator is always like the fuck you side of things, right?
Yep.
Like I thought it was really fucking awesome. Like when we did like prepping for the June show we did where 90% of that prep we did just on TRT.
Yeah.
And like people were like, well, so what are you doing for that? And I'm like, this, and they're like, how? And I'm like, get it done. That like that was like driving force. So it was like, like that was in the back of my head. Be like, you know what? Fuck these guys. Like I get told all the times what this is just drugs. It's like, all right, cool. Let's see what happens. Let's put our money where our mouth is.
And the
And it
reason
was
I
just
gave
like,
that to you, yeah, the reason I gave that to you because I knew you had the balls to do it. The amount of guys who have taken that challenge on and be like, I'm going to get weaker, I'm going to get smaller, I won't lose fat at an optimal rate. No, I'm not doing that. Or they'll sneak behind my back and do it. And I'm like, just trust me, bro. I've been through this. It can work. Like, yeah, it worked. And it worked. And then
yeah,
guess what happened? When we added that shit back in, your body was like, oh, fuck yeah. That's why you were pressing 180-pound fucking dumbbells.
yeah,
Fun fact. So again, I know you and will never get out of our scope of mental health. If you're having really serious mental health issues, and I say this because that's what my wife does for a living, go talk to someone who is a trained
yeah,
professional. Like if you have remote thoughts of not wanting to be here anymore, or just can't get out of bed, or if they're really extreme eating disorders, go speak to someone. Like that's out of the scope of you and I. And a lot of trainers try to take that on, and that's a Pandora's box that we aren't equipped to shut. So, again, if that is you, if you are struggling severe mental health issues, it never hurts to go speak to someone and they can get you on a path to fixing that through counseling or through medication if needed. So,
yeah.
yeah, I think we
And
adequately.
that's always a great. I mean, talking to someone is nine. Like that's why we have coaches. That's why we have. Like you get better with the help of other people.
Right. Yeah.
Like this game of life isn't just about how much you can do by yourself.
Yes.
It's how much you can do with everybody.
Right. Yes.
No one gets ahead by doing things all of themselves by themselves.
No. No.
Doesn't happen that way. So like as with mental health, like if something ain't right, like talk to someone, figure it out, set a game plan. And if you have a game plan, that makes life so much better for you.
Yes.
Because if you don't know what you're doing, like what are you supposed to do?
Yeah. Agreed.
You're just gonna get more lost.
Yeah.
If you're walking in the fucking woods, you don't know where to go, you're gonna be in the fucking woods for a while.
Yes. Yep.
Versus like it might just be like, all right, walk that way for 5 feet, you're out of the woods.
Yes. Yep.
Versus like, all right, cool, I'm gonna just keep walking slightly that way and keep getting worse into the woods, where you're just at the edge of the forest, but you don't know it.
Yep. Yep. You know, when you North Americans and I asked you, I was like, who's going with you? And you're like, I'm gonna go by myself. The reason I went isn't because you and I are friends. I went because I had to do that by myself and it was miserable. And I knew like the roads were crazy and the traffic is bad and it's just not a conducive area to do by yourself.
Yeah.
And I knew that if you had the best opportunity to be your best, it was going to require someone with you. And that's the reason I booked me a damn plane flight there. And I'm sure for you, like when I was driving you around, I'm familiar with the roads, like that took all your stress away. Where if you're doing that
Oh, yeah.
alone, and you're managing meals and water and check-ins and tanning, and like I knew exactly where to go for all of that. And it's like, oh, come on, I'll
Yep.
take you right where we got to go. I know where we're going to train. I know where we're going to park. I know where we're going to eat. Like I know where we're getting groceries. All that simple. So that mental stress completely erased, which is why you looked incredible on stage, in my opinion. And again, that goes back to what you just said. Things like this are so much easier to do with someone who supports, as opposed to just saying, you know what, man, like, because we've all been there, right? Like, where it's like, I'm just gonna do this alone. I got this. Well, guess what? It's so much better and more enjoyable when you have someone there supporting you. So,
Yeah, very true.
all right, cool. Next question. When to cruise versus blast, and links and knowing when to start and stop. So let's start with when to cruise versus blast. So you want to do that, or I can, doesn't matter.
Well, I mean, that usually starts with where you're at sitting with a lot of variables. So, like, well, if you aren't ever taking gear, like, and health markers are good, definitely, like, if you're going to get onto that side of the things, and you're not going to start with a cruise.
No, no.
Versus, like, if you've been taking things, you're not progressing, it's a very good time to pull back and reassess what you're actually doing.
Yeah.
And because, like, we've talked about this millions of times, drugs are not the reason why you're not progressing or not progressing. They are a puzzle piece of the game, but the answer of progress is probably somewhere sitting in your diet or training.
Yes. Yep.
And to figure that out might mean, lowering dosages, getting things into optimal ranges, figuring out what works for you and what doesn't, and then pushing forward from there.
Yep.
And there's no real, like, set answer there. Like, I mean, you're not going to be able to blast on super draw for more than 3 weeks before your liver starts fucking shutting down.
Right.
So, like, depends on what fucking gear you're taking.
Yeah.
But, like, at the same time, like, test is not liver toxic.
No.
So, like, if you took like a higher dose test, you could take that for a while. I'm saying like 500 milligrams without really much, downsides, as long as you're doing cardio or eating correctly, so your cholesterol's in range.
Yep.
And if you're using an AI, you have to keep a bigger watch on that, depending on where your estrogen goes. So there's, like, a long list of variables there.
Yeah. 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 I will say this. I think it's pretty trendy because I'll get these young kids. I say young kids. It's people new to lifting, and they'll say,
Yeah.
"Chris, I want to do TRT." Well, are your testosterone levels low? Well, no. So why do you want to do TRT? Well, because they don't understand what TRT means, right? Like they think, oh, TRT is 200 mgs a test a week. No, TRT is designed, the number of that you would take each week isn't predetermined. It's a guess to get you into normal range, and you take blood markers again to see if it's too high, too low, or spot on. Right? Like, I need people to understand TRT is testosterone replacement therapy. That literally means my body doesn't produce enough on its own, and I'm falling below the normal range for an adult male or female. You need TRT if you're on the low end. If you're normal and wanting to do TRT, that's just taking drugs, bro. Stop trying to name it something fancy. You're just saying, hey, I want to take a little bit of test. That's all you're doing.
Yeah.
So let's start there. So TRT is literally a guess, and then you take blood and you figure out the true number. And that may take 3 or 4 tries for some doctors to get right.
Yeah.
So if you aren't testing your blood levels, you aren't doing TRT, you're just shooting testosterone. That's one. Next, people are going to say, oh, Chris, what's a blast? When does a blast start?
Outside of that TRT range.
Right, right.
Like, if you did TRT plus 25 milligrams of Anavar, that's a blast.
Right.
Does your body make Anavar? I don't think so.
No, right. Right. There's also an evolution, right? Like, if you said, Chris, you have a first-time supplement user who wants to go, he's a healthy adult male in his 20s or 30s, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to say, let's see what 300 or 400, probably 400 to 500 megs of test a week only feels like. And that's all we're going to do for 8 weeks. And I'm going to track your progress, your strength increases, and your photos, and the scale increase. And then we'll see what it does. So for someone who's never used before, that could be a blast. Well, what are you going to do after that? Or how long was the next part of that question? 12 weeks is a good starting point. I've ran some people at 18 weeks, 16 weeks, 20 weeks. I've had people have to do like bridges between shows, and we've been on for longer than 20 weeks. Do I like doing that with people? No. But if that's what the situation calls for, I must do it. Like, so the length of a blast, for the most part, I would say 8 to 16 weeks would be a range. And even that's a huge range, right?
Yeah.
Again, it all depends on multiple things. How do you feel? How do you look, and where your blood markers are? So everyone comes out with these like, oh, here is my whole 16-week supplement plan. Awesome. If you're not intelligently working off of that and modifying it like you would a meal plan, to me, it's just, again, shitty coaching. Um,
Yeah.
if I just gave you a straight supplement plan without ever asking these questions, what have you done before? How long have you done before? What do you like? What don't you like? What gives you negative side effects? That's a shitty coach. I'm just copy and pasting.
Yeah.
Because if the most tests you've ever done is 600, why would I give you 1,000? I just would. It's like if you normally eat 6 ounces of protein, I'm not giving you 10. Let's try 7.
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
it's as common as that. Like, I've always told you, and I've always operated your supplements like this. I want to take the least effective dose. I want to take
Yeah.
the least amount for right now that'll give you the result I want and you want. Then,
Hmm.
as you get used to that, we slowly tick it up. I don't
Yeah.
start from the damn deep end. I don't just say, here, take 4 grams of this shit and let's see what happens. Will
Yeah.
you grow? Yes. But then where do we go?
Yeah.
And that's what I've always asked. Like,
Yeah.
let's start low and then slowly add things. Okay, cool. So if I'm going to build off of that cycle I just gave you, 8 weeks, 400 megs a test, see what happens. All right, in that second 8 weeks, let's add some EQ at say 200 to 300. Okay, cool. In that totality of that cycle, you gain 30 pounds on the scale. Let's say half of that was muscle. That's a fucking win. 16
Yeah.
weeks, 15 pounds of muscle for your first cycle. Dub. Do you notice also I didn't have insulin in there? I didn't have fucking growth hormone in there. I didn't have Tren. I didn't have Masteron. I didn't do any orals. Nothing. Zero.
Yeah.
Weird how that is, right?
Yeah. Well, it's like with anything, like people, I swear to God, with if it's like a, you know, any kind of substance, people just don't understand how it works.
Yep.
It's like if you have a fucking headache, you take an aspirin. You don't take the whole fucking bottle of aspirin,
Right. Yep.
you know? And with drugs, when it comes to like tests, people are like, oh, well, 200 milligrams or 300 milligrams worked. What 3 grams would be better? Be like, that's a little bit of a fucking jump.
Right. Yeah. Yes.
Like
Yes.
if 300 milligrams worked, like what would 400 do, right?
Right.
But no, everybody wants to jump up to, like, oh, well, he's doing this, so I need to do that. It's like, if I drink a cup of coffee in the morning and it wakes me the fuck up,
Right.
why would I mix that with Red Bull?
Right. Yeah. You mean you're gonna put an Adderall with that?
Yeah, you know, we got some modafinil going on too, and some, all the other things. It's like, might as well throw it in. It's like, now you just,
Right.
you know, so it's,
So I'll give some general statements before we move on here. For the beginner, I tend to like, as long as you blast is what your cruise is. So you just mirror it. So if you blast for 12, cruise for 12.
yeah,
If you get more experience and you have a timeline, blast for 16, cruise for 8. But it's a progression to that. Because as your
yeah,
numbers start to go here, you can't get away with things as long as you can when you're new to it. So uh, there isn't any real right way to do it. There's some guidelines you would follow, and a lot of it depends upon how you react to it. I mean, if we're talking solely about males, that's way different with females because
yeah,
their effects or what they consider side effects are the actual effects of the drug. So it's like a little terrifying if you're like 6 weeks into primo at 100 megs a week, and the next thing you know, your voice is scratchy and raspy, and your jaw's starting to square, and you're getting like weird body hair. Yeah, probably want to stop that. Like,
yeah, yeah,
fun facts. Like everything you do, you have to realize will have a consequence. So just remember that when you're planning these cycles and running them. Like there is give and take, and that's yeah. I think that's about it for that question. I mean, there are no right answers. I would always err on the side of caution, and I'd be really leery of things like blood pressure, how
yeah,
you feel. Like,
yeah,
yeah. So pay attention to that.
yeah.
If you
And
can't,
taking your goddamn health subs.
yes. I will say this.
Like, if you can't afford your health supplements and blood work, you can't afford to be on cycle.
Correct. Yes.
That's all I have to say on the matter.
Agreed.
Like, if taking a Stragulus is too fucking expensive for you,
Right.
Yeah. Figure out a goddamn way to make it happen, and or stop taking drugs.
Right. Yeah. If you're a trainer, that's one training session a month for that bottle of extractor. Just fun fact.
Yeah.
That's how I used to look at shit. Okay, I need health supplements. How many extra sessions do I have to do this week to make up for it? Okay, 4. Awesome. I can pay them for my whole month. That's one client 4 extra times, or that's 2 clients twice, or 4 clients for 1 session extra a week. Easy.
Yep.
Where's my health supplements? I know most people don't look at their money that way, or they might have more set income. Figure it out.
Yeah. And or if you really think about it, you break it down, you're like, okay, cool. That bottle of health supplements, let's make it an even $30. That's $1 a day. There's one, one serving, one bottle, right?
Yep.
If you're okay spending $6 a day at Starbucks and you can't afford your freaking health subs, but you want to be a better bodybuilder, you need to figure out like what your reasonings are for things. Right. And like, okay, cool. If I can afford Starbucks, like what happens if I make it at home and spend that money on something else? Like everything has a purpose. And with bodybuilding, that's why it gets so convoluted, because people are like, oh, well, those are, those aren't really needed. It's like, well, technically being alive is not really needed. We can go, like you could definitely just die.
Right. If I'm being honest here too, like if I really had to pinch pennies, and let's say every week I ate at Five Guys and I had 2 burgers, a small fry, a soda, and a milkshake, that's your health supplements. Just cutting that one.
Yeah.
For that bottle of exactly. You just talked about. There is that bottle covered. I just skip 1 free meal. So instead of having 5, I have 4. And that, because listen, you can't go to Five Guys as a bodybuilder and eat for under $30. I'm sorry. If you get all those things, it's just not possible.
No.
So
yeah, actually, I just had a free meal this weekend, and my order was $64. Yep. So, yeah, 1 milkshake, 2 burgers, and yeah,
with a tip, it's done. Yeah, like that's the reality of our life now, right? Like, yeah. All right, so Blast Crew's got that. Yeah, we've answered all those thoroughly. Let's see. I don't know if there's a podcast on it, but maybe talk a little bit about our backgrounds. Do you want to start?
Ooh, I got into this. Well, how far background do we want to go? I was super overweight as a kid. Didn't like that. Went very underweight. Joined the wrestling team. Got good at that. Figured I liked weightlifting more than wrestling. Got better at that. Hired Chris. Did a show. Liked it. Kept doing it. Learned as much as I could.
Repeat. Right. All right. So if I follow your same timeline, I absolutely love sports. When I stopped being able to play football, I was just like you. I realized that I actually loved lifting weights and preparing for the actual games more than actually playing them, probably. So it's like, I love all that off-season lifting and conditioning. And then I just randomly found Ronnie Coleman on a Flex magazine walking through Kroger with my mom one day, and I begged her to buy me the magazine. And she was like, really, $8 for a magazine? This is kind of aggressive. And I'm like, I promise I'll read it.
Yeah.
Where that thing
actually, the same thing happened to me, except it was the 2011 Jay Cutler with like the quad stomp.
Yeah.
And I was like, people can look like this.
Yeah.
And that put me, so I was very, I think it was my first year of high school when that was 2011. Mm-hmm. And it was funny because it was like, I don't know who had that magazine, because it wasn't me who had it. Mm-hmm. But he's like, they're like, look at this. And it was a whole bunch of people like, you, that's gross. And I was like, that's the fucking coolest thing I've ever seen, because it was that black and white photo.
Oh, God, yeah. Yep.
I was like, one that's right insane.
Here. You move my head out the way? Fuck. I don't know if I can see
that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that led me into college. My first dorm room was literally a probably 20-yard walk across the street to the gym. And so I just started training my face off. I got really fortunate, and there was probably the first real social media platform outside of Facebook was a thing called Body Space. So I uploaded dorm room photos of me posing, and they decided to sponsor me. So I got all free supplements, and I was like,
oh, really?
At 19, all free supplements, I was like, I'm rich.
Yeah, no, that's amazing.
all I had to do was write a supplement review on them, and they mailed me whatever the fuck I wanted. So it was pretty sweet. That led to me training my college roommate, putting 45 pounds of muscle on him by just teaching him how to eat and train with me every day at the gym. And I was like, huh, this is pretty fun. Like, I think I might want to do this for a living, because I had honestly no clue what I want to do with my life. I thought I was going to go just work for my dad doing general contracting and be a manual labor guy my whole life, because that's how I saw him make all of his money. And I thought, oh, cool. Like, eventually he's going to retire and I'll just do that. And it was fun. And, I didn't really like talking to people. So that made a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
And it was really rewarding to like complete a big job. I know you've done similar manual labor stuff like that. And
Yeah.
The sense of pride that made for us is like, oh, we mow and mulch and build retaining walls for a client, and like that feeds our family. Like, that was a cool feeling for me.
Yeah.
And I like working with my dad and brother and my uncle and my cousins, like, because it was like a family run business. And he told me, he was like, man, like, you should look into this training thing. So when I graduated college, that was his college present to me, was he got me the certification. Well, he didn't buy me the certification, but he bought me all the materials to study for the certification for a personal trainer. So I did that. And at the time, I was just training at a brand new Gold's Gym, and the fitness manager came up to me and was like, hey, man, like, you really know what you're doing? Are you certified? And I was like, I got certified 2 days ago. He's like, you want to do an interview? And within the first 3 months, I realized that I probably could train people harder and more effectively than anybody that worked there, but they all had more experience than me. So I just trained my face off with clients, and that meant I was in the gym at 4:30 a.m. till 7 p.m. And I just got my experience so high that I knew how to work with people and talk to people and do customer service and sales training, that they promoted me to his job within a year and a half. And I did that for 8 years. And Angela was pregnant, and I was tired of the way the gym was running. So I said, fuck this place. Like, your goals don't align with mine. And I just quit on Halloween, which is really funny. And she was like, hold on, I'm pregnant and you don't have a job? And I was like, well, I gave him a 4-week notice. So my buddy who he was a business manager for a huge physical therapy company, and they wanted to start a personal training program. So they hired me to develop that, which was super fun, which led me into owning or being a part owner in a private studio training gym. At the same time, I started working as an intern with John, which was full-time, even though it was said intern. Essentially, I just studied under him. And within a year of that, he promoted me to his lead coach, and I've never looked back. So yeah, it's a fast track of where we are today. So with competing, is the same shit. Like, when I started bodybuilding, I had no desire to put posing trunks on. Like,
none.
I just wanted to lift weights and get huge and eat food and get smart and find ways to get bigger faster. And when I started that Golds within the first year, the training manager, he was like, Chris, like, I'm gonna do a show, a Muscle Mania show, which was natural, in New York. You want to do it with me? And it was like 10 weeks away, and I was in pretty damn good shape already. Like, I wasn't fat when I was a kid, that young. Like, I had a fast metabolism, so I was like, sure. I have no idea what I'm doing. So I bought the pre-contest Bible, studied that motherfucker, built a diet on my own that I thought worked. It just slowly took calories down every other week. I got in reasonable shape for my first show, and it was fun as hell. I got second as a middleweight at 5'10". I was huge. That's a joke, by the way.
Yeah.
Then after that, I was like, I think I want to take this serious, and yeah, just kind of, as you did, rinse, repeat, get better, rinse, repeat, get better, and next thing you know, I'm over 200 pounds on stage. So there we go.
Yeah, same.
Many years of doing the same shit.
Yeah. I was laughing. I was like, I have that same book on my counter over here.
Oh. So yeah, I think a lot of people don't know, like, I did my first 3 preps by myself, and I think that gave me a lot of good knowledge. Did I waste a lot of time? Yes. But that helped me learn how to coach people, which then in turn, like, in the gym I worked at, people saw me get in pretty good shape, and they were like, huh, can you do that for me? So I just started doing that. That's how I met my wife. Funny there. All right, let's see. You all should talk about how you worked or worked around client injuries, knowing when to stop versus not.
So I mean that a lot of that is some like experience. Like none of it. We've all had twangs and tweaks and things. Like and then knowing having the background side of things. Like I know chiropractors, athletic trainers,
Yep.
rehab specialists. Like
Yep.
I work a newbie machine, which is a recovery tool.
Yep.
And having those places in play, like and having the resources available for your clients,
Mm.
like how many times like someone has like, oh, I think I did this. It's like, let's find out for sure what the fuck you did,
Right.
and get someone smarter like than me in that's boat
Yep.
and find out what we can do and what's actually wrong.
Mm.
Because so many times like people like, oh, my back hurts. And it's like, is it weak abs, tight hip flexors? Like so I've seen times it's fucking hamstrings.
Yep.
And it's like, oh, let's fix this actually. It's this issue. And if we only focused on like the actual pain, that's not actually the issue.
Right.
The resounding problem, like it's where you're feeling the pain, but the issue is actually somewhere downstream
Right.
or upstream.
Yes. Yep.
And that's like probably the first thing you can do versus like, and obviously you got to change the program to fit change the training to fit the client.
Yep.
Like if someone's like, oh, my knees hurt, it's like, all right, let's figure out why.
Yep.
Like I have a couple guys who are like 24 years old and like always complain about knee problems. I was like, cool, let's see what you're like. And you go, in person, like, all right, let's go over some hip mobility shit.
Yeah.
And their hips are completely fucking locked. It's like, that's
Yep.
why your knees hurt.
Correct.
We need to be doing these stretches, this mobility shit. Your ankle flexion is now non-existent.
Right.
Right.
Yep.
So let's program this so we work on all those things while also addressing your quads, what are a weakness.
Yep.
And what happens? Their knees stop hurting, their quads start growing.
Yep. I'm gonna just piggyback off everything you said. Obviously, it depends upon the injury. The first thing is always assessment. What is it? Okay, next. If there's no bruising, no redness, none of that shit, I know if I'm gonna use my arm, for example, let's say I'm getting pain in my elbow. I need to have this joint adjusted so I know it's in the right place. Chiropractor. Next, massage therapist. I'm gonna have this muscle, this muscle, this muscle, this muscle, all worked on by a massage therapist until I'm in almost tears because I'm gonna address every fucking issue around it. As you said, above or below the injury. If it's a knee, think about this logically: quad, hamstring, tib, calf. Get it cranked on. Okay, cool. It hurts less. Okay, awesome. When you say it hurts less, what exercises are causing you the most negative pain? Let's just say front squats causes the most pain in leg extensions. Cool. We're going to remove this from your program right now. And we're going to give you exercise that strengthen the muscle around it, right? So I've always thought about this too. Like if you're going to your knee pain example, something that Chris bangs on me over and over again. Chris, if you make your teardrop or your VMO so fucking strong and good at lifting weights, that's going to protect your knee. Okay, awesome. Why does that person have a weak VMO? Probably they aren't getting good depth or range of motion in their squatting patterns. To piggyback off of what you said, why is that? Hips or ankle mobility? It always leads to that shit, right?
Yeah.
Then next, I'm going to address it with supplements. I'm going to take something curcumin based. If you want to do a fish oil, if you do some sort of like, if I'm going to do a shout out to Grant, it's going to be joint care, right? If you're using True Nutrition, J-Flex. If you're using Animal, it's Flex. Like you think about covering those needs next. Take collagen. If you want to go the peptide route, fuck, I can't even talk today. BPC 157, TB, you're got to get working on that, right? And then you have to really start taking a hard look of your exercise programming, sequencing, and execution.
Mm-hmm.
It's 9 times out of 10 going to be that. Or you need surgery.
Yeah. And if none of those work, it's like let's look at those other options.
Right.
But yeah, like we said, it's like generally it's like there's some kind of dysfunction in what you're doing.
Yep. I mean, you know my love for Arctic Balm, Tiger Balm, keeping shit warm. Like I'm just a big believer in that. Like, are you too heavy? Are you too fat? That's gonna hurt your joints. Is your
Yep.
diet shitty? Is that causing inflammation within the joint? Well, guess what? If inflammation is within the joint, of course you're gonna feel like it's fucked up.
Yeah.
All type knee things. I love backward sled dragging. I know it sucks. I know. Okay, cool. Chris, I don't have a sled. Put backward treadmill pushes. Enjoy. Go. Get strong on them. Do them.
Yeah.
Intervals. Like, if you have low back pain, make your abs and TVA so fucking strong that your back doesn't have a choice but to feel better. Simple. Like, think about antagonistic muscles that you're feeling pain on the backside of your body, address the front, and then the shit around it, right? Like, I know it's annoying. I know that shit's not sexy. I know just getting down and stretching your hip flexors hurt, but it helps.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
I mean, mobility work is such an underlying concept that people just like gloss over.
yes.
You know, they'll be looking for, everybody's gonna be looking for the next new supplement. They're like, oh, I can take BPC. It's like, are you even doing fucking stretches at all?
Yep.
You know, like it's not always just gonna be a plethora of more honey compound. Like it's like basic shit. Like it's like, oh, your hip flexors are tight. Do you stretch them? Do you train them?
Correct.
Like,
Yes.
when was the last time you actually contracted your hip flexors?
Right.
You know,
Yep.
and lengthen them together.
Oh, yeah.
Because like, you're sitting down all fucking day. They're contracted. They're sitting there in a contracted position. You're not
Yep.
actively contracting them.
Right.
But what
It's
happens
here.
when you act? Yeah. What happens when you act? Yeah. You're just chilling like this.
Right.
You know, what happens when you actively lengthen and strengthen those like under the load?
Yep.
You know, put some blood in there. And they're like, how do I do that? It's like, fucking Christ. You know?
Yeah. There's a reason you and I believe in that newbie too, right? Like,
Yeah.
all that stuff I think that people deem as like you and I doing that's excessive. When you train your face off, you have to take care of your body. And
Yeah.
the longtime massage therapist I used for years always he pitched it to me with this. He's like, Chris, it's yin and yang. If the black side is all the like death sets you do, the white is me. And also within that white is chiropractic work, is stretching, is mobility, is health, is supplements, water, hydration, all that shit. And he's like, if you're 85% black and 15% white, that's not yin and yang. You need to be 50-50 with that shit.
Yeah. And yeah, when that gets out of whack, that's when you get hurt.
Correct.
You know, I almost want, if you could get in that place where it's like 55 white, 45% black.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You're gonna be in a really good spot.
Yep.
You know, like there's gonna be times where it's gonna like slightly shift either way.
Yes.
But we can't control everything. But you know, that means taking your rest days, doing your active mobility, your stretching, getting your outdoor walks in so
Yep.
that you're moving. You're not just chilling at the desk the whole fucking day.
Yep. When I tore my erector, I had a period of like depression.
Yeah.
Right. Because I was like, oh fuck, I was in such a groove. I was growing, things were clicking. And after the shock of it happening went away, I called the chiropractor. I said, hey, what can you do? She said, can you get here? So I walked like an old man. My feet were like moving like inches at a time. Angela came and picked me up from work, took me to the chiropractor. She was like, no training for a week. Okay, yes, ma'am. You're going to see me every day for an adjustment. Awesome. Okay, cool. And then the next week, we're going to do everyday adjustment, but you're going to walk on the treadmill and train your abs. Awesome. I'm going to do it. My nutrition was on point. I did not eat 1 ounce of bullshit and feel sorry for myself. Was I sad and depressed? Yes. Did I put shit in my mouth because I needed comfort food? Absolutely not. Because I knew that was going to make the inflammation worse. Her literal words for me were, Chris, if you aren't walking around moving, I need ice on your back. I had so much ice on my back, I got ice burn on my erectors. Literally ice burn. And she's like, what did you do? And I was like, you told me to ice if I wasn't moving. And I literally listened. So do that. Week 2, done. In the books. Oh man, you're healing really quickly. What's next? We're going to knock you back to every other day chiropractor, but I want to get you 2 massages a week. Cool. Can I start training now? Yes, all machine back supported. Awesome. What did that do? Get blood flow to the fucking area. And then it was a progression. In 6 weeks, I had 275 pounds on my back again, was terrified, but I was doing it. 6 weeks after an erector tear.
Yeah.
So again, I just followed the prescription and went.
Well, I mean, I think that what you just said goes to so many different things, not even just like physical injuries, but mental injuries. Like, I can't tell you how many times I had someone, like a client who has like a girlfriend break up with them, and it's the end of the fucking world.
Yep.
And like in the scenario they're in prep, right? And it's like, well, I did this, I put bullshit in my mouth because I felt bad. It's like, did that help you with your goals?
Right. Yep.
Like that's one thing. Like, yes, it may not be the easiest thing to do, but you can't just think of the right now personal gratification.
Yep.
It's like you gotta think, well, does this action help me or hurt me?
Mhm.
And if it's gonna hurt you, like take 2 seconds about thinking about doing that before you actually do it,
Agreed.
and you're probably gonna choose the other route.
Agreed. Yep.
Like I'm
I
not
think I had
saying we
to,
all don't, like no one's perfect. We all make obviously fucking mistakes, but like if you sit there and you like, honestly, God, like before you put that piece of cheat meal or off-plan food in your mouth, like take a gander and be like, why am I doing this? And does it help me or hurt me?
yep.
And if it helps you, like fucking fantastic.
Yep.
That's great. If it doesn't help you, why are we doing it?
Mhm. Yep. I just viewed that as, yes, I took a couple steps backwards, but if I fix this, I'll be back to normal in under 2 months, 3 months
Yeah.
max. And it was.
Yeah.
And you can't allow a current state of sadness to set in. This goes back to mental health, right? And anytime I have a client that starts feeling sorry for themselves like that, I tell them one or two things. Go feed the homeless for a day at a shelter, and you'll suddenly feel really good about yourself. Or you want to feel what really being helpless is like, go volunteer at a cancer ward at a children's hospital and look at the people's parents while they have kids that are dying and they can do nothing about it. Perspective. Suddenly, your fucking back injury is cake compared to that.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, it's just the truth. I know everyone wants to sit around and mope and feel sorry about themselves. There's people that have way worse situations out there. Like, I've mentioned this before. I watched my mom wake up in chronic pain for 2 decades. I have a back
Mhm.
injury. Suck a dick, Chris. Easy,
Yeah.
easy. It'll be over in 6 weeks. Still looking like a moron to these days. Like,
Yeah.
it's all short term. Like, so yeah, injuries. That's how we do them. Doesn't matter when you go to sleep as long as you get 9 hours. No.
Yeah.
Agreed?
Not really.
No.
Yeah. If that means you're taking a couple naps throughout the day or whatever, as long as you get your sleep in, like you probably don't need 9 hours, but like, yeah, that'd be better than it's a lot better than none.
Yes.
I would definitely shoot on more is better with
Yeah.
sleep.
Yep.
But the as long as it's more than six, I'm usually really happy with people.
Agreed. Yep.
Um, and if you can get six at night and like an hour nap through midday somewhere,
Mhm.
7, like I'm usually that most people in that scenario, they're doing really well.
Yeah. Great.
9 hours is generally going to be really hard for most people.
Yeah. Agreed.
Like, I don't care what kind of life, like, I don't know how you live a life where you can get 9 hours straight,
Right.
like, because shit just has to happen,
Yeah.
But
Agreed.
at some point, I mean, you probably can take a nap some days, and that I generally recommend that to most people. Like, if you have some time, like you got some downtime,
Mhm.
and it's not like middle of the day, like put your feet up, take a nap.
Correct.
You
When
know,
I used to
it,
work at that gym that I was telling y'all about, like I'd have an hour for lunch and I would do 10 minutes, scarf my food down, and then lay under my desk for 50.
yeah,
And that was my hour.
yeah,
If I had a client cancellation, I'd make phone calls. I'd set myself up for the next day to replace that income. And then whatever remaining time I had, I'd lay down and take a nap. Even if I don't fall asleep, I'd just turn my phone on
yeah.
silent, prop my feet up over my heart, turn the light
Turn
off,
your brain on.
right,
Yeah,
and just recharge. And
yeah,
then I know a lot of times people will say, well, Chris, like I have a hard time waking up after that. Well, set an alarm and have a small cup of coffee. Like have an
yeah,
energy drink, have some EAs, have something
yeah.
like you'll
Well,
start.
actually, they've done a bunch of cool studies with drinking your cup of coffee and then taking a nap. When you wake up, you'll be really fucking ready
Oh,
to go.
right. Yes.
You
Yep.
know, and like little things like that we can do. But like,
Yeah.
there's no way you should wake up groggy from a 45-minute nap. Like,
No.
there's
Okay.
no. You're waking up groggy when you accidentally take a nap for 4 hours in the day.
Right. Yeah. And I can say this too. Like, let's say you have a really busy lifestyle. On your off days from work, you really utilize those for rest and
Yeah,
recovery.
yeah,
Like I am huge on that with I just did that Sunday. I didn't do hardly anything on Sunday because I could feel my body just needed a full on rest, took a couple
yeah,
naps, chilled. got most of my work done before 10 o'clock a.m. and just did pretty much nothing until Dax and I went and played some football with my brother and Axel and for a couple hours to get me moving, and then it was right back to chilling. Eat meals, nap, eat meals, nap. Simple as that.
Yeah.
Again, even if you don't nap, just the laying there and resting and doing something to turn the brain off, whether that be a guided meditation, watching a TV show, something that makes you laugh, do it. It works. It pays off. So, all
It
right,
really
let's
does.
see here. Our best growth season you've ever had. Win, stage weight difference, mental state, calories, and split. I don't remember my calories, but I'm sure I could pull yours up.
Yeah. I mean, we had that chunk of time where I was eating like 8,000 calories. Like, you had me waking up in the middle of the night drinking a shake.
Yes. Yes.
Um,
I, I don't know if you've had a best growth season. They're all pretty similar. Like,
they're very similar. You know, nothing like. I know I've had a couple preps, but we're definitely like on the opposite side of that spectrum. The where like shit was just like happening, and it was just like, all right, cool. Well, all that struggle I'm feeling, I'm just gonna put into these weights.
yes.
You know, like that. I don't what year was that? Like 2021,
Yeah.
22, where I
That's what I
did
was thinking. 21, 22.
where I tore my adductor, and
Yes.
like the week after I tore my adductor, my girlfriend broke up with me.
Yep.
And then I was just like, all right, cool. And like legitly just got better. Like I thought I was absolutely peeled and I was fucking strong as shit.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. So I think for the most part, if we look like a chart of your growth progress, it's relatively linear if you looked at it end to end. I can tell you from my perspective, I was not like that. I've had two really good chunk off seasons that I remember. They were both done very different. Both came from a place of anger, by the way. So I don't know if
Yeah.
that's anything to do with it. Like getting my
Yeah.
ass kicked the first time I competed as a light heavyweight was a wake-up call to me. And for 2 straight years, I wasn't deviant on one singular thing. Every gram of food was measured. Every workout was to the end. I did not get sick. I took every health supplement. I took fucking everything to the end. Training, rest recovery, massage. I did everything perfect. And it was like 19 and a quarter pounds in 2 years total time frame. So I was in my mid 20s. It was a good look. It was one of my favorite looks. And then this past, not this current all season, the last one, it was right at the same. It was like 18 and a half pounds. And
Yeah.
because I was angry about how my 21 season went with John dying, I went back to the roots of how I loved bodybuilding. I turned off my brain of all the smart shit I thought I'd read, and I did everything that I know worked. And I didn't give a singular fuck about anything. I coached myself and just said, well, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
And, I mean, yeah, you got to see me in person, so
Yeah.
it was a
Yeah. That
different.
was a good look.
Yeah, yeah. I just listened to my body. I know that sounds crazy. I don't think that I ate any more food than I ever had. It was just everything. Anytime for me when I do shit with purpose, it works. And I know not everyone responds well to anger. And anger might not have been the right emotion I had. I had a lot with this past one. It was sadness. It was also happiness. It was just a lot of emotion. And I was
Yeah.
like, I'm going to prove to myself, prove to John that I can do everything that he taught me and just apply it here. And it was kind of just a fun science experiment. And I didn't tell many people. And that was for a reason because I didn't want to make it about me because it wasn't. It
Yeah.
was, I always go back to, I hated how small I was. And I hate disappointing myself more than anything. Because I feel like that's a reflection on everyone that I work with. Like
Yeah.
if I fuck up, like that's a poor reflection and an example for you guys. And like
Yeah.
that weighs on my heart. And it's one of them things where I take pride in my ability to just shut the fuck up and work. And
Yeah.
when John passed, I was all over the place. Like it was trying to manage my own emotions. It was trying to run a business that was thriving. It was trying to be a decent husband and father, and I was failing at all of them. And all I knew was that I equated more pain, more suffering, less food in that moment to a better outcome. But it was really just trying to run from that pain of John dying and me not knowing how to handle it. And I was just like, man, I'm in the wrong spot and wrong headspace. And like, let's just, instead of trying to run from anger, let's embrace it and just try to prove myself right. And good shit happens. So
Yeah.
I don't know if that gave the person they wanted a lot of answers there. Yours just slow and steady, and apparently someone needs to piss me the fuck off.
Yeah.
And fun fact on both those scenarios, I was just disappointed in myself.
Yeah.
It
Same.
wasn't anyone said, Chris, you suck, or bad feedback from judges. It was just, I feel like I let myself down. And
Yeah.
that's a shitty feeling. Like, because in the moment you feel like you're doing everything right. But in in retrospect, I could have blamed everything around me. And I just said, you know what, man, like, fuck this. Like, this is on me and I'm gonna fix it. And
Yeah.
that's what I did. So
Yeah. That's how I operate as well. Like when it comes down to it, like no one's gonna judge me. Like if I wanted to go out and eat whatever I wanted today or tomorrow, not a soul's gonna give a fuck.
yeah.
But the myself, like I can't like let myself down. Like I made this goal to be a bodybuilder when I was fucking 16. Like, no real idea of what that meant. But why would I do all this shit to not do what I want? Right.
It's it's a powerful thing when you take ownership of it.
Yeah.
And so many people want to blame others or their coach or their friends or their relationship or
Or
whatever.
their genetics,
Yes.
or their fake drugs or their drugs or their,
Yeah. Yeah.
their artificial, their, bunk serostim or,
Mhm.
it's like, oh my God, like blame it on your effort in training and your diet.
Yep. Yep. It's both of those scenarios for me were always all right. If I'm perfect with my food, if I every time I pick up the weight, it's with intent, and then sleep, rest, recovery all match my effort in the
Yeah.
gym, in the table, good things will happen. And it's just, again, I always say for me, it's like get back to the root of bodybuilding. It's stop trying to do so much of this and just focus on the work. And if you do that, I mean, again, that's why I thrive under coaching with Shelby, Matt, and John. They
Yeah.
gave me hard shit to test me, and I did it and got better. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Let's just replicate that again. Like it's all I gotta do. Like it sucks to eat all that food. I don't give a fuck. Eat it. I don't feel like training today because my body hurts. Cool, take a day off. But Chris, I only trained 4 days that week. Doesn't matter. My body hurts. I'm tired. Take a break. Awesome.
Yeah.
Means when I come back the next day or the day after, okay, every time, intent, intent, intent. Do it for a purpose. What's the purpose? To be better. Cool. And then repeat. How many times
Yeah.
can I be perfect without falling asleep early, without missing a rep, without sacrificing one bit of form on a hard set? How many more partials can I get? Can I beat the rest Paul's number that I did last week? It's just that. It's just that.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Effort always leads to outcomes.
Yes.
If
Agreed.
that's positive or negative, right? If you don't give good effort, you don't get good outcomes.
Yep. Yep.
That's in everything,
Yeah.
not just bodybuilding. And like, it's wild to see how many people will show up and just think that showing up is going to fix their problem with bodybuilding. Just being at the gym does not make you a bodybuilder.
Nope.
It's
Agreed.
the effort you put into training and the diet what make you a bodybuilder.
Mhm. Yep.
And that over time, the and that's I feel like so many people have fallen away from that because we live in a country of short-term satisfaction. It's like, oh, I want this. Okay, cool. Liposuction's 10 grand. You can just pay for it right now. We
Yep.
got a payment plan. It's like, okay, does that fix the issue? That
That's
took
coming
body
right
fat
back.
off you.
Yep.
But like, did you learn anything from that?
Yes.
And we all just want to skip the difficult part, but the beauty in that is the difficult part is what makes it fun.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. And to get some insight and going back to that mental health, right? Is like I remember there was mornings at 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock when I was on the treadmill, and was sitting on the like just kind of going through the warm up phase, and I was like looking at my photos and watching the videos of me posing when I got up that morning, and looking the trend of my weight, and it would start to skew in my head, and I'm like, huh, do I need food? Do I need to stay with a plan? Do I need to lower food? And I would just have an open running dialogue with John in the morning on the treadmill by myself, and that helped so much. And I would just talk through a situation. And then next thing you know, got off the treadmill, the equation was clear. Like,
Yeah.
and I think so many people were just scared to do that. Of again, just have that open conversation with yourself. Like, how can you get better? What can you do today, tomorrow, this week that's going to make you better at bodybuilding? And
Yeah.
sometimes the answer is just continue. Like,
Yeah.
just stay the course, bro. Stay the course. Don't change a thing. Don't get cute with it. Don't start twisting your pinky at a 37-degree angle and use less weight. You know that dumbbell row? You can do 2 more reps with it. 2 more. I'm asking for 2 more. This week, today, Monday, do 2 more with perfect form. And then the next week, do 3 or go up in weight. Weird. All right. A few more questions here. Reverse diet or rebound, which you prefer and use and how? Is there a difference?
Well, I think those are the same thing, but
Correct.
um, I definitely feel like you definitely should reverse or rebound out of a show.
Yes.
Like there's some trains of thoughts where people are like, just get back to your like normal off-season weight as quickly and shortly as possible. It's like, well, please don't do that.
No.
Gaining 20 pounds of weight in a matter of weeks is going to wreak havoc on your how you feel and how you train.
Yes.
The having a little bit of discipline in play and doing things slowly. Yes, it might be a little bit difficult, right? But there's that fine line there. Like, if you're so disciplined over here, you'll probably fall off the wagon.
Yes.
But if you're so fucking loose over here, you already fell off the wagon.
Yep.
So it's like, where's this middle ground sit for said person?
Right. Yes.
And let's shoot there. So what they have a little bit more flexibility. They're off prep. They have some foods they enjoy, but they don't have all of it, right? You're not eating cupcakes and muffins at meal 1 through 6,
Right. Yep.
Versus, or just back to, zero carbs and high cardio immediately post show. Right. Like, depends on where that is for that person.
Agreed.
I
always try to tell people tend to be slower out of the gate, like those first 1 to 2, maybe 3 weeks, and then I just start pounding people with food. But now I say slow only because you're going to be hungry as hell.
Yeah.
Your food may be actually doubled in terms of carbs and fats.
Yeah.
But you're running through it really quickly. Where within by week 4, if you're a guy and your carbs with me are under 500 on a base day, you didn't do something right.
Yeah.
And your high days are probably 700 to 800 at this point.
Yeah. Well, I always find that too, the slower the better, because the more you can retain, like having that hunger set in between meals.
Yes.
Also, like if that hunger's there, I'm gonna guess what that's being driven from lower blood glucose. Your body's actually signaling for it.
Yes.
Like we do get some false signaling post show where we're just like, hunger, it's on. That check engine light's like, hey, fuck you, come change the oil.
Right. Yes.
But 4 weeks post show, that should be pretty much gone, the false signaling.
Agreed.
But if that signaling of hunger still shows up, like it shows up like, hey, eat after every meal, that means you're digesting things really fucking well.
Correct. Yes.
If you eat meals 1 and 2, and then you don't have that check engine light come on when you're hungry, and so meals 3 through 6, you're like, man, this sucks. Do you think you're digesting that optimally? Like, no. So, and then that's where you get that compounding interest. It's like, all right, cool. Those suck to eat, so I'm gonna go have a Five Guys, and you get more backed up, and then you wake up and you're not even fucking hungry, and it's like, all right, cool, let's push meal off, and then you eat meal 1 at like 1 p.m. and you're like, all right, cool, so I'm gonna get 3 meals in today.
Yeah.
And then that shit just is a downward spiral of just like backwards.
Right. Yeah.
And then you don't even know where you're on a plan anymore, because you've like the last 4 days you've had like 3 meals.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think if my memory's right, I can go back and look. I think by like week
Well,
5, 6, I usually have your high days around 1,000 carbs,
yeah,
and off days you're well over 100 grams of fat per day. On regular training days, you're probably 500 to 700 by 5, 6 weeks. Like,
yeah,
and you're rolling. And oh, fun fact, your glutes are still squared off, all your abs are there, you're vascular head to toe, and you don't feel like a piece of shit.
yeah,
You're not watery, you don't have cankles, you don't have edema, your blood pressure is normal. Like, and that's on reduced supplements. Fun fact, no fat burners. Like,
yeah,
yeah, I think in my mind that's the way to do it, but you have to have discipline, as you said. You're gonna be hungry.
yeah,
And you and I know this because we've done it so many times. It's not a race to not be hungry again. That's
yeah,
fucking a horrible place. No one wants to be there
yeah,
because when you aren't hungry and you have to eat 6 whole food meals or 5 whole food meals and a shake, it's not fun. So why rush that process is my thought process,
yeah,
because eventually we're gonna be into a spot in the off season where it's like, all right, man, I've reached my limit for food.
yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, there's points in the off season where like I'm eating meal six on the bed, on the corner of the bed, trying not to throw up after the last like 4 bites, and you're like, oh, wash it down. You're like, all right, cool. I'm gonna go hop in the shower and fall the fuck asleep. You
Like,
know?
yes, yes. So, yeah, I don't know the difference between I guess maybe a rebound is what you said, to get your weight up as fast as possible, or you just start pounding food. I don't count that a rebound. I count that as just being haphazard and no plan almost. I guess maybe some people can plan that, but for you and I will always do kind of slow out of the gate, and then I step on the gas pretty quickly once training returns to normal. Because
Yeah,
those first 1 or 2 weeks, my goal is just not getting you injured.
yeah,
And yeah, we do that effectively, then we can start really hammering shit. And by the time I'm also pulling your fat burners out, I'm pulling cardio down. Like, what you have to remember is I'm typically wanting you to do a couple more rest days. That's optimal to me.
yeah,
I also don't fall in the camp. I know some coaches believe in taking a full like 3 weeks, 4 weeks off completely. That's a scenario for fucking awful, in my opinion.
yeah,
Sitting
yeah,
around, nothing to do. Like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna eat.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Well, it's funny for me because like rest days, we've talked about this before. Like they're the easiest things in the like legitimately I could eat every 2 hours,
Yes.
easy.
Yep. Yep.
So if I'm, that if that's the concept and I get done with my food at 8 p.m. and like I don't go to bed till 10, like you're gonna be eyeballing the fucking fridge all night.
Yes.
And if you have 2, 3 weeks of that,
Yep.
that fridge is gonna start looking really fucking good.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And you almost forget your purpose because you're
Yeah,
like, what am I doing here? Like, I'm
yeah,
not injured. I'm pretty motivated coming off the show. Like, you're like me. You want to get in there and start ripping weights apart again.
yeah,
Like, so I've never understood that. I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's for your mental health. Oh, it's for joint health. I'm like, if we do this right, we can accomplish both those. And then 6 to 8, 10 weeks down the line, we can take an off week and really
yeah,
enjoy it because we need
yeah.
it. Um,
I think the main reason we get away with not doing that off week immediately is because we don't use diuretics.
Correct.
So we're not worried about. There's very little chance that I'm gonna like tear something because like, well, show day I had 2 gallons of water, so I was dehydrated, I guess. So I mean, like the next day, I'm not really like, even though we trained after meal one the next day, I'm like, I'm not really super worried about like the effects of dehydration
Nope.
because like we found a good look and we had it, but that didn't require being in a sauna or doing stupid things with salt or water or
Yep.
diuretics.
Yep.
So like that would make sense. Like if we did a hardcore, like if you did that, you did like a hard weight cut, and then you also use diuretics, and you were like fucking dehydrated. It's like, yeah, maybe take the next 3 days off from the gym so you can just get back to normal.
Yes. Yep.
Maybe a week, sure. Especially if you throw in like terrible foods and shit,
Yep.
like that makes sense. But if you didn't do that, like you're gonna go insane.
Agreed. I mean, I had a show in 2021 where I trained the day of the show, as you did
Yeah,
at
yeah,
USA, right? Like, didn't think twice about it. Why? My water wasn't pulled. My food wasn't pulled. That was normal day. Go train. Like,
yeah,
it
yeah,
was
exactly.
intelligent.
You'll look better afterwards.
It was intelligent training. I mean, we weren't in there breaking PRs and shit, but
Yeah, moving blood around does this so much.
yes, All right, final two questions and a two-parter. How much does the same movements each time matter versus variations for novelty?
A good amount. Like
Yeah.
novelty is just that, like it's novelty, but at the same time, like if they're super similar, like you go to failure, cool, it's probably not that big of a change.
Right.
But good luck figuring out and tracking that.
Yes. Yep.
If you like, I honestly, we've got a couple things where we can switch it between three different options. Like I got dumbbell rows, John Meadows, like Meadows rows, and or like machine rows
Yep.
for this thing. But like being smart and realizing which one's going to be better for that day versus like just being like, oh, cool, I'm bored with training. It's like,
Yeah.
the only way you're going to get bored with training is if you're low effort.
Yeah. Agreed.
That's the only possible way you're gonna like go put 3 plates on a squat bar and do that till you can't. Please tell me how that's boring.
Yeah.
Like
Agreed.
you're gonna have to be really fucking focused after rep 10.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and I think too, you and I know we have a core grouping of exercises that yield progress that are trackable. And then there's some things that we could say finish with that we can play around with, right? Like
Yep.
we could play around with the attachment we put on a lat pull down. Like I wouldn't think twice if you're like, hey Chris, like Bronson got this new attachment for lats for pull downs. Awesome. Have at it, bro. Like I don't care. Use it. But
Yeah.
at the same time, like if I'm subbing, say, a dumbbell row in place of like a fancy, I don't even know what to say, some weird fucking banded movement, it's not the same. It's not yielding the same result.
Yeah.
Um,
What I see a lot of with those subs too is like they're not finding better movements, they're finding easier movements.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
instead of a dumbbell row, I did you know, X, Y, and Z, so it was safer and easier. And it's like, was it, better versus easier is a weird concept.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Like if I said, if I'm taking chest and my opening exercise, week 1 is the dumbbell incline press, week 2 is the Smith machine incline press, week 3 is a hammer strength incline press, week 4 is the sideways hammer strength press. Which one of those don't align? It's the last one.
yeah, yeah,
I would be
exactly.
I would be thrilled if you did any of those first 3 and got better at them. But the things where that purposely make you reduce load
Yeah,
and not for the better, because everyone I think knows my hatred for that exercise because you completely remove the stretch from it. You put yourself in a disadvantageous place to be strong, and you think you can outsmart one of the time-tested machines on the planet. Good luck.
yeah,
Like I think the most you and I might be able to sideways. What do you think? 3 plates maybe,
probably.
but we can do 5 facing normal.
Yeah,
Like, but yeah, good luck. Like, that's very, very interesting to me. When people, because people will say this to me, Chris, like John changed shit all the time. He changed things all the time, yes, but there was a staple of exercises. And when he replaced an exercise, it wasn't with something that was easier, harder,
yeah,
harder. It was done harder. Like,
yeah,
so,
yeah. Go
again,
read any of the programs. Like, yeah, they switch around a little bit, like, but they're all the same exact workout, just done different in a different way.
right. Yes. The rep range may change. The intensity fire may change. You may do leg press before squats or squats before leg press, but guess what? You're still doing them. It's leg curl, leg press or squats, leg press or squats, hack squat, lunge, RDL. I just gave it to you. It's there. There's a John Meadows secret. And then within that changed for the most part. You might do lying leg curls or seated leg curls. Guess what? You're both fucking falling short in the hamstring.
Yep.
Doesn't matter. So yeah, to us, like, yes, it does matter. If you're really trying to track your progress, it's hard to change every week. I get that. And know that like if you follow a base set routine, and I'll just make it easy for chest, right? If I'm always going to do a dumbbell press, then a barbell press or a Smith machine, those 1 and 2, I can track those each week. Then I do a pumping exercise. Where you're going to best do that? Probably a machine press. Awesome. And then I'm going to do a stretch. These 2 I can play with in terms of machine selection. These 2 I can play with the angles.
Yep.
Simple as that. So with a dumbbell, I'm going to do a slight decline, a flat, or a slight incline. With incline with a barbell, I'm going to do a lower incline or a moderate incline. I'm either going to do it on a Smith machine or a barbell. These
Mhm.
two stay in and you get fucking better at them and stronger at them over time. These two I can play with. The pump, pick a machine that you fucking feel. And with the stretch, open that thing up. Easy as that. So
Yep.
the answer is yes and no. All right, second part of this question, and then we are done. And training hard, intense to failure in either session, I like to add variety in training. So I think we just answered that.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to add variety, I've always thought like it's like I give you those options sometimes for your last leg exercise. I'd be like, okay, you
Mhm.
can either do a rest pulse of leg press, you can lunge until you can't stand up, or do Bulgarian split squat of death. Guess what? They all suck
Yeah.
if done properly.
Yeah.
So it's like I've always looked for variations within your set routine. A rest pulse can turn into a crisp pulse. You can do a weighted stretch at the very end of a lat pull down. There's all like little things that we can modify if you want to look
Mhm.
to build intensity. I mean, I know something that you and I think instinctually do pretty well is we'll do a top set and then your second set for the back off. That's when we can look to add some fun, so to speak, of let's say we take the reps and we slow down to a 3 second negative and pulse in a hole, or
Yep.
we uh do a bunch of reps, or we do a bunch of reps slow, or we superset it with something, or, all different types of variations to have fun. You can even do a rest pulse with your back off. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Or I really like doing the time under tension on the back off.
yes, agreed.
Like I think time under tension, like those count, being able to count and move maximal weight don't go together.
Yeah, agreed. Yes. Yep.
Like it's just not possible. If you
Yes.
can do both, you're not doing both.
You know,
You think you are.
it's like the day you and I dumbbell rode together at Elite. Like we ripped the top set and then we did dead stop with a squeeze for your back off. So I think we use
Yeah.
160s for the top and we use 100 for the back off.
Yeah.
You and I aren't gonna be able to hit a contraction hard on a 160, but we can with the 100.
Yeah.
So again, like uh, that's a lot of nuance there involved. I think some have a hard time adjusting to. Um, because if you and I train together, we pretty much could jot down what both you and I are thinking and
Mhm.
then compare notes and be like, it's pretty damn similar.
Yeah.
You're gonna activate the muscle, you're gonna move something hard, you're gonna get a pump, get a stretch. And that's the tenets of our workout for the most part. And depending on how long we stay in each of those phases, depending on how we feel, how much food and where we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I was actually laughing really hard. I had a kid ask me at the gym yesterday. He's like, "How do you keep your intensity up while you go and prep?" And I'm like, "Well, you don't do a lot." I was like, "I volume is not what's gonna like volume isn't driving your growth. Your effort is,
Yes. Yep.
So like you almost have to match your their training with the diet."
Yeah. Yep.
So it's like that's how it goes. Like if you have a ton of food, cool, do more volume if you
Yep.
can,
Yeah.
you know.
I've always thought
But
this as I've gotten
when
older is imagine you and I going to the gym with a moderately carb day. So let's say that's 300 grams of carbs in prep under 8 weeks out and having to think about taking 30 sets to the end. That's panic inducing.
Yeah,
But
no
guess
joke.
what? 10 to 12, 8 to 12, got it. I can do
Yeah,
that assignment. And if I know half of those are back off, right? Like, so that means, let's say use 10 because it's an easy number. 5 times I have to move maximal load for as many as I can. That now suddenly it's like, okay, it's only 5 times. I only have to go 5. Awesome. Because the back offs are fun. The back offs are pumpy, right? It's still hard, but yeah, that's how you do it.
super true.
I mean, because I think the older you and I get, the less sets we require.
Yeah,
Right now, on a leg day, I'm only doing 2 sets of hamstrings. They are not smaller.
no,
2 sets.
yeah. Well, I laugh at some programming with like arms. They're like everything's like 4 sets of this, and it's like no wonder you fucking get sick of training
Yeah.
Can't imagine trying to do 4 sets to failure on anything.
Right. Yeah. I think I saw Dusty once say like my training HD is like it's too high for 4 sets of anything.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So if you're wondering why you can't go hard in a prep, try cutting those sets in half or making it 2/3 less and lean into that sense of urgency. I only have 8 sets for back today. How hard are you going to do it? Because you don't have, I mean, I think people call them what, fluff sets or wasted sets. I can't, there's some fancy word out there I know that people use, but they don't count.
Yeah.
We want to do as few of those as possible. So, yeah, because then you're just burning through carbs.
Yeah.
If it's not building muscle, I'm thinking about it's a fat burner. Like, stop it.
Yeah.
So, all right, that was a long one. Until next time, Chris, Dave, we are done. If I can find the off button.